It's Forms of Faith. Today is December 31st, 2023. It is 5:42 and I'm back with another dream. So I woke up from this dream around 10 to 10:30. I really don't remember the exact time frame. Well, let's dive into it. I'm going to read it from my journal. Okay. So this dream actually, just a sidebar, this dream is really dark when I first woke up and I couldn't understand it, so I did denounce it. But as I kept going on throughout today, the dream kept coming back to me. And as it began to come back to me, I was like, okay, well, that is pivotal. Okay, that's pivotal too, and what we're on the eve of. So I was like, let's talk about it. Okay, so in this dream, it was like I was at a church, but after the church was over, there was members still lingering as if they were waiting for something. And this church was it was like an old Baptist church, but it was like how the Masonic churches look. And they were all waiting to go underground. Before they did, they looked through this portal of water, and discretion is advised because it was really, really weird that the portal of water that they were looking through was the toilet. Where these women actually transformed from witches into these sexually attractive looking women. And they picked which one they wanted. In doing so, as they picked, they were given a location of a sewer entrance. Then I was out on the streets in several different areas. So I see myself in like several different locations. And I began to see the men open the lids of like the sewer entrances and begin to go underground. Then I was on the street in LA. I remember it was in a neighborhood, and I remember seeing a palm tree in the hill where the Hollywood sign sits. I didn't see the Hollywood sign, but I know that was that hill. And in the neighborhood, I seen these two black witches walking on the street. They were old looking, not feeble or like down and out, but they were walking with like this vintage 70s era attire on. They appeared to be old, but there was a passing wind that blew upon them, and they became and transformed into young, attractive girls. Then I merged to the underground world, where I began to see everyone indulging in with these demonic witches that I seen transform. Then the dream switched to seeing this man, pale in color, beginning to open a portal. And as the portal opened, he jumped. And when he jumped, the space I seen was a mass ocean of endless depth. And I began to see a beast rise up from the sea. This beast was too large in size to compare to anything I've seen on earth. He had a reptile exterior with he had a reptile exterior with illuminating blue LED looking light shining through the whole exterior of his existence. So it's like it was in layers. It was like a layer of the reptile hard rocky skin, then the illuminating light. Layer was the whole makeup of this beast exterior. I'm watching this beast rise while also seeing the pale man jump to another portal that was above him. And I noticed that the other portal he was coming out of was underneath him. As he transitioned to the other, he had no feet. It was as if some type of sand, dust, crystal-like blue particle was dropping from where beneath his knees would be. That's where the dream ended because I was woken up by my sister. Now, Like I said, at first, the dream was very dark and I was totally confused by it. But as I began to, as after I prayed on it and I began to discuss it with my sister, we began like the interpretation of it began to make its way to the light. One, underground. There's a whole world underground, you know, which is transforming. Everything now is being revealed, you know. Not only that, we are hours away from the greatest ritual that happens like clockwork every year. And it is for the Roman god Janus, of portals, gateways, beginning and end. And think about it. I seen the man in between portals. And in between the portal, I was able to see him. But also with us coming into January, this great ritual of New Year, I just believe it comes at no coincidence that God will allow me to see something of such, yes, great depiction, you know, but underneath our feet is a whole system, you know, and even though that was the sewer, it's a system, you know, and the things that they're doing down there is vile and disgusting. And it was a church, but a Masonic church, you know, and this was going on in the church, and these men was picking these women that they had consciously knowing that these women was transforming into witches, you know, and they were picking them, and they were all over everywhere. It was happening all over everywhere. So that is systematic, and that is no coincidence in itself. And then to see the portals, and we are literally hours away from New Year's, where that is a representation of the Roman god Janus. Not only that, for when I did see him going in between portals, I was seeing it from an aerial view of seeing this man, pale man, jumping between the portals, because it's like he was coming out of the portal, but the bottom of him was still particle like. It was still, I don't know if it was still transitioning, still coming through, but there was another opening portal above him. And you know, he is a two-headed God that is past and present. So with it being two, it being like it's coming and going. But the significance of seeing a great beast rise out of the sea. This thing was so huge. It wasn't even, you couldn't even put 5 or 10 football fields together. And the sea was just so, as far as I could see from left, right, front, and back. And I knew that it had no measure of depth. It was endless where he was rising from, because it was probably like, just like the first half of him, which I seen. And my God, like, I immediately cast it down because of all of the inappropriate acts and the things that I seen. I was like, oh my God, like this is, but when it dawned on me and the Lord kept bringing it back to me throughout today, I'm like, okay, we're hours away from a great ritual. You know, God doesn't want us to partake in things that is of the world. Even though we're in it, we're not supposed to be of it. So I just had to relay that in such great urgency, you know, that people need to know what we're merging into. You know, this is going to be a time of transitioning and revealing. And the veil is going to be torn for you to be able to see the spiritual realm to the naked eye, just a regular eye. And so, you know, get your houses in order. I'm not perfect because I delayed all this time. It is 6:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, and literally hours away, and I had all day to do it. But, you know, I'm here now. So get your houses in order, repent, pray, ask God to really help you guys in wherever position you are.